You see the message pop up in the family group chat. It's from your aunt or your mother, or whoever always knows exactly which nerve to hit. The words sit there on your screen. Your chest tightens. Your thumb hovers over the keyboard. You know what they meant by it. You know what you want to say back. Every muscle in your hand wants to type. Here's what you don't know yet. That urge to respond is the exact moment you lose. We've been taught that silence means weakness, that if someone says something provocative, unfair, or deliberately cruel and you don't immediately fire back, you're letting them win. You're being passive. You're a doormat. So you respond. You explain yourself. You defend. You correct the record. You make sure they understand your position. And then something strange happens. You don't feel better. You feel worse. Because now they respond to your response. And you're back in it again. The conversation spirals. What started as one barbed comment becomes a full exchange. And suddenly you're lying in bed at 2 in the morning mentally rewriting your replies. You've handed someone else the remote control to your emotional state. Here's the part most people miss. The problem isn't that you responded. The problem is what the response did to your nervous system. When you react immediately, you're not thinking. You're defending. Your body interprets the provocation as a threat. Your heart rate spikes. Your rational mind takes a back seat. You're no longer operating from a place of clarity. You're operating from a place of emotional survival, and decisions made from that place rarely serve you. The person who provoked you doesn't even need to be right. They just need to make you react. Because once you're reacting, they're in control. Your attention is on them. Your energy is spent on them. You've shifted from author of your own day to participant in theirs. That's the trade. Your peace for their stimulation. And most of the time, you don't even realize you agreed to it. Psychologist Daniel Goleman named this process the amygdala hijack. The amygdala is the part of your brain responsible for processing threats. It's old, primitive, fast. When it detects danger, real or perceived, it overrides your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for reasoning, patience, and long-term thinking. It's a survival mechanism. Useful if you're being chased by something with teeth. Less useful when your coworker sends a passive-aggressive email. Here's what happens in that moment. Someone says something that feels like an attack. Your amygdala fires. Cortisol and adrenaline flood your system. Your ability to think clearly shrinks. You respond not with intention, but with reaction. And reaction is always faster than reflection. That's the design. Your brain prioritizes speed over accuracy when it thinks you're in danger. But the danger isn't real. No one is physically threatening you. The only thing at risk is your ego, your image, or your need to be understood. And yet your body doesn't know the difference. It treats a cutting remark the same way it treats a physical threat. So you respond as if your survival depends on it. Goleman's research shows that during an amygdala hijack, your IQ effectively drops. You become less articulate, less strategic, more impulsive. The very moment you most need to be sharp is the moment your brain is least equipped to help you. That's why the things you say in anger rarely sound as good the next morning. You weren't operating with your full intelligence. You were operating with your threat response system. The person who stays silent in that moment isn't weak. They're aware. They've recognized the hijack for what it is. They know that anything said from that state will cost more than it's worth. So they wait. They let the wave pass. They stay in the pilot seat while the storm moves through. That's not passivity. That's sovereignty. And it's one of the most underrated forms of power you can develop. You think the goal is to make people understand you. It's not. Most of the time, the people who provoke you aren't looking for understanding. They're looking for engagement. They want to know they can reach you. They want to confirm that they still have a place in your head. When you explain yourself to someone who's already decided what they think, you're not clarifying, you're performing. You're hoping that if you just say it the right way, they'll finally get it. But they got it the first time. They just didn't agree. And no amount of re-explaining will change that. Silence in these moments is not withholding. It's discernment. You're deciding that your peace is worth more than their approval. That being misunderstood by the wrong person is better than being exhausted by the need to be seen correctly. Not everyone deserves your explanation. Not every comment deserves your energy. Every time you respond to provocation, you send a signal. You're saying, "This works. Try again." You're training people on what gets your attention. And attention, even negative attention, is a reward. Some people would rather have you angry than indifferent, because anger means they still matter. Silence breaks that loop. When you stop feeding the pattern stops feeding on you. The person who used to get a reaction now gets nothing. At first, they might escalate. They'll try harder, say something sharper, push a little further. That's normal. It's called an extinction burst. It's what happens when a behavior that used to work suddenly stops working. But if you stay quiet, the burst fades. The person moves on, not because they've changed, because you stop being a reliable source of the reaction they were after. You've made yourself boring to provoke, and that is a deeply strategic position to hold. Silence is not surrender. It's refusal to play a game you didn't agree to. Here's what silence gives you that words don't: time, clarity, control. When you don't respond right away, you get to decide if a response is even worth it. Most of the time, it isn't. The thing that felt urgent in the moment becomes irrelevant an hour later. The comment that seemed so cutting loses its edge when you stop feeding it significance. Silence also forces the other person to sit with what they said. When you rush to reply, you let them off the hook. You take the discomfort they created and absorb it yourself. But when you stay quiet, that discomfort stays with them. They're left wondering, did it land? Did it matter? Are you hurt or just done? That uncertainty is more powerful than any comeback, because a comeback gives them something to react to. Silence gives them nothing. And people who are used to getting reactions from you will find that absence louder than anything you could say. You become unreadable, unbothered, untouchable. That's not coldness, that's self-respect. There's a difference between silence that protects and silence that punishes. One is for you, the other is for them. If you're staying quiet to make someone suffer, to punish them with your absence, that's still a reaction. You're still giving them control. You're just weaponizing the quiet instead of weaponizing words. The silence that protects doesn't care about impact. It's not performed. It's not for show. It's a boundary. It says, "I'm not available for this." It doesn't need the other person to notice or feel bad. It exists whether they're paying attention or not. This kind of silence is calm. It doesn't carry tension. It doesn't wait for the other person to break first. It simply moves on. And that's how you know it's real. If your silence still has the other person at the center of it, you're not free yet. But if your silence is just the sound of you returning to yourself, you've found something most people spend their whole lives looking for. Here's what you do the next time someone says something designed to pull you in. You feel the heat rise. You feel your fingers itch for the keyboard. You notice it. You name it. You say to yourself, "This is the hijack. This is my amygdala doing what it was built to do." Then you wait. Not forever. Just 10 minutes. Set a timer if you need to. Walk away from the phone. Go outside. Do something physical. Let your nervous system reset. When the timer goes off, ask yourself one question. Will responding to this improve my life in any measurable way? Not will it feel good. Not will it set the record straight. Will it improve your life, your actual day-to-day experience, your peace, your relationships, your energy? If the answer is yes, respond. But respond from calm, not from heat. If the answer is no, delete the draft. Close the chat. Let it go. This isn't about being passive. It's about being intentional. You're not ignoring the provocation because you're afraid. You're declining it because you're selective. You've decided that not every open door is worth walking through. And that decision, that tiny pause between stimulus and response, is where your power lives. You're back in that family group chat. The message is still there. It still stings a little. But your thumb isn't hovering anymore. You've already moved on. You put the phone down. You make coffee. You step outside. Somewhere in the background, maybe they're waiting for you to reply. Maybe they're wondering why you didn't. But that's not your problem anymore. You've chosen yourself. You've chosen quiet over chaos. You've chosen the kind of strength that doesn't need to be seen to be real. And that choice, the one nobody else will ever know you made, is the one that keeps you whole.